We are starting out our week 6 video 3 video with our vocabulary quiz here using our smart words. So, number 1, what process is used to locate objects by sending out sounds and listening for echoes? Think like a bat. That is echolocation. Number 2, what kind of scientist studies caves? That is a speleologist. Number 3, what is the opening to a cave? That is called the mouth. Number 4, what is an area that is separate and different from other areas? That's called a zone. Number 5, what do you call someone who likes to explore caves? So this is different from somebody who studies caves. That is a spelunker. Number 6, what is a plant-like organism that lives in the twilight zone? It's called fungi, like mushrooms or moss. And then number 7, what is an animal that lives in the dark zone of a cave? So like salamanders and spiders and centipedes and crayfish. Those are all called troglobites. How did you do? Okay, some facts. Did you know vampire bats drink the blood of other animals to survive? They fly out of their caves at night to feed on the blood of cows, pigs, horses, and birds. Vampire bats like this one are cave dwellers. I might be weird, but I actually think bats are kind of cute. That's amazing. Bats spend their days sleeping. They sleep hanging upside down from the ceilings of a cave. Since bats live in huge groups Since bats live in huge groups, the cave is like one big slumber party. Did you know bat mothers have their babies in the spring? Bat babies are called pups. A baby bat is born with really strong legs and claws. It has to hang onto its mother or to the cave ceiling right after it's born. Talk like a scientist. Would you like to be a spelunker? Explain what you would like. Describe what you might not like. Use smart words to talk about it. I actually want to write a paragraph about this. So I'm going to write mine and then I'll read it to you. But I want you to start yours. Okay, so a paragraph is usually 3 to 5 sentences. You might start with something like, I think, or I feel, or I believe, because it's asking for your opinion. Would you like to be a spelunker? An opinion is your thoughts and feelings. So you might say, I think I would like to be a spelunker, or no, I would hate to be a spelunker. And you have to give reasons why or why not. So go ahead and write yours out. You could even type it in the comments if you're faster at typing. And then I'm going to write mine and then share it with you. And I think some of you might already know what I'm going to say about it. So hang tight. Okay, I just wrote a quick little paragraph to talk about my opinion on if I would like to go spelunking or be a spelunker. So I said, I would not like to be a spelunker. The dark cave would scare me. It would be creepy to see animals with no color or eyes. I would not like to be near troglodytes. Overall, I would not like to go spelunking and would rather stay near the mouth of the cave. I'm curious to see if your opinion is the same as mine and you wouldn't want to go down in the deep dark cave, or maybe you're brave and curious and you would like to go spelunking. Make sure that when you write a paragraph that you have 3 to 5 sentences. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I have 5 sentences. I indented, meaning that I put a space for my first sentence in my paragraph. And then when I got to the end of the page, I started right at the very edge for my next line. I included capitals at the beginning of my sentences and periods at the end. So make sure that you are trying to do all of those writing strategies and that you're including those things. I think that if we were not in the deep dark part, the dark zone, then maybe I would like to go into the cave, like near the mouth, the entrance zone, or the twilight zone, and see the pretty things like the stalactites, stalagmites, the columns, the rivers, but, excuse me, a little bit deeper and darker, and you can count me out. Alright, let's turn back to our book here. Oopsie. Okay, that was the end of the book. We have our glossary here, and I want you to comment below or tell somebody nearby, what is a glossary? What is its job? What does it do? Why is it important? Why are they included in nonfiction books? If you remember from last week, a glossary alphabetically lists new or important words and tells what they mean. So if I'm reading in the story and I'm not sure what a word is or what it means, I can flip to the back of the book, look at the glossary. I know my word starts with an S, so I'm going to look near the end because S comes near the end of the alphabet. Oh yeah, stalagmite is a piece of rock shaped like an icicle that sticks up from the floor of a limestone cave. So this even gave us a little bit more information than the book provided. So alphabetical order gives us the word and the meaning. And these are all the words that were highlighted in yellow throughout the book. We also have an index. So the index is different because it just has some keywords and the pages that that word is found on. So if I'm looking for bat, I can find that on page 13, page 24, and on page 25. So all 3 of those pages talk about a bat. If I want to learn more about a troglobite, I can find that information on page 26. And then this particular book, we had the 3 different vocabulary activities, and it had the answers in the back, so I could go back and check those. And that is the end of the Smart Words Reader book. I really like these, and like I said before, you can find them on Scholastic. They have all sorts of different topics, so make sure you check those out. And since we're done reading, that means it is time to fill out our KWL chart. So take a second to get that back out. And let's talk about what we learned. Okay? First, I want to see if any of my questions were answered. So I'm going to start with the first one. What is the temperature inside a cave? Now, I kind of remember reading about this in the book, but I'm going to try to go back to that page. I don't think it gave me an exact temperature, but I believe it said something about it being cool and warm. Let's see if I can find that page. know what? I'm not seeing it. But I do remember it saying it could be cool. Oh, there it is. This part of a cave is cool during the day and warm at night. I'm going to write that down. So let me find my marker. The entrance zone, that's what it was. Entrance zone is cool during the day and warm at night. Kind of thought it would be opposite. Because right now it's summertime in Ohio and it's been really hot during the day, but it's been cooling down at night. What's the difference between a cave and a cavern? I didn't hear the word cavern while I was reading. I'll go back and double check when I'm done, but I don't remember reading about cave and cavern, so I'm going to skip that one. And I do know that we read about how a cave is formed. So, I'm going to go back in my book. I remember it talking about how a sea cave was formed and how just a regular cave in the ground is formed. And it is formed by weathering. And weathering is the wearing away of a substance by wind or water. Okay, so I got 2 answers. I'm still going to Google, I think, this question here just because I'm curious. But since I didn't get an answer for this one, I'm just going to write one more thing that I learned that I thought was kind of cool or interesting. And that was about the troglodytes. I am just like so fascinated by that. And I think it's even more interesting that people actually want to go down and study these things. So I learned that there are animals that live in the dark zone and they are called troglodytes. And I even learned too that there are different zones of a cave. I want to know what you learned when reading this book. Did you know most of these things already, or was a lot of it new to you? And what was one thing that really stood out? You can comment, you can tell somebody nearby, you can email me. My email is erin.rose@fairless.sparc, SPARCC.org. The last thing I want to tell you about is how to grow your own stalactite at home. So this is a science experiment. I'm going to tell you what materials you need and then how to do this. And then I'll give you the website too in case you want to look up the directions or see the pictures. So the materials you need are Epsom salt, water, 2 identical glasses, so just like cups like this, you need 2 of them. You need string or a paper towel, 2 paper clips, and those were hard to find for me. Remember, I had a hard time looking for one for our game in the last video. Or you can use weights. You need a spoon and then a bowl or a pot. Step 1, fill the glass right to the top with water and dump it into the bowl or pot. You're going to do it again, so for a second time. Start adding Epsom salts and stir to dissolve. Keep adding Epsom salts and stirring until they won't dissolve. Step 3, if you are using a pot, heat the pot on a stove. Be careful doing this step. If you're not allowed to use the stove, please ask an adult. You should be able to dissolve more Epsom salts in a hot solution. Don't let the solution boil, but keep it on the stove until it's very hot. Add more Epsom salts and keep stirring. Once you have finished that, you are going to divide your solution in the pot and you're going to put it into the 2 glasses. Step 5, find a location where they won't be disturbed for a few days. There will be some dripping. If you are putting them on a wood table, be sure to put out a tray or something under the glasses to protect your table. Step 6, cut a string. It needs to be long enough to cover the distance between the glasses and hang down to the bottom of both glasses. Or you can use a rolled up paper towel to connect the 2 glasses together. Step 7, put the paper clip on the end of each string. Put one end of the string in each of the glasses. There should be a slight dip between the 2 glasses. So the paper clip is to weigh it down so it stays near the bottom of the glass. And when they're next to each other, the paper towel or your string will probably have a little dip in between the 2 glasses. And the last thing you need to do is watch as your stalagmite and stalactites grow over the next few days. I'm going to give you some tips too. If you aren't getting any results, you might want to check your variables and see if any of these other things help. So you'll need to dissolve a lot of Epsom salts in the water. The stronger the solution, the faster you will see results. If you need to grow something overnight, be sure to heat the solution and slowly dissolve as much Epsom salts as possible. You can also submerge the string in the solution first so that it's all damp before putting the string in the 2 glasses. Make sure to check your string. If there is a dip below the height of the water, there will be a lot of dripping. If you can get a pool between, you can get a pool between the 2 glasses. When the drips fall too quickly, there's no time for the stalactite to form. Move the glasses slightly apart to raise the height of the string just a bit. It should slow down the dripping. Or you can move the glasses closer together if you don't have any dripping and your string dries out. Paper towels suck up a lot of liquid and may be the fastest way to grow your stalactite. Your results will also depend on the humidity in your home. The results should be more dramatic in a home with lower humidity. Just like if you think about a cave, it's a lot cooler down there and not as hot and sticky, which probably isn't good for this week. It's been super hot out. If your string keeps drying out, you can use an eyedropper to add add 1 drop of the solution to each side of the string about once an hour. Let's see, what else do we have? We have a couple more tips. You can use natural fiber string like cotton or wool. If you aren't allowed to heat the solution over a stove, ask if you can boil some water. Put the hot water in a bowl and add the Epsom salts directly to the hot water, or you can use hot water from your tap. I hope that you can grow some successful stalactites and stalagmites. I'd love to see your pictures, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week for our last week of reading. I can't believe it's almost over. I'll miss you guys. The website for the experiment is Science Kids at Home, and you can just type that into Google and type in growing stalactites. And I wanted to give you one last piece of information. Stalactites and stalagmites are those impressive pillars you see growing in the caves. If you aren't sure which is which, just remember that stalagmites grow from the ground. They both have the G, ground, starts with G, stalagmites, G. So now you know how to tell a stalactite from a stalagmite, and you can create your own.